49ers came out ready to play. They really did. Held Aaron Rodgers in check for the most part. Didn't let him get a run game going. Defense looked solid. Again, for the most part. As solid as you could look against a team like Green Bay. And Kaepernick, I mean, especially in the second half, just opened it up.
Yeah.
He had some big TDs. Rushing. Was delivering the ball on target. Kept finding his favorite target, Michael Crabtree. Who he just looks like a man. He looks like what people projected him out of college to look like now.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Because in college, I mean, I still remember that one catch he had at Texas Tech. I think it was against Texas. Where he just, like, snatched the ball and went in. Like,
He caught the ball. The ball was, like,
Yeah.
out of bounds, but he kept his feet and body inbounds, caught the ball, spun around the defender, and went in for the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah.
That was one of the sickest plays I ever watched. That was sick. But, yeah,
and that's why people projected him to be like this coming out of college. And he's finally developed into that, and him and Kaepernick just seem to have some type of energy going. This, the one guy who seems to get lost in all this is Vernon Davis, but other than that...
Hey, you know what? I watched numerous times where he took shots at Vernon Davis, and whether it was Vernon Davis not being able to make the play or good coverage or a little bit of an off throw, whatever it might be,
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't. It's not like Kaepernick doesn't look at him.
Kaepernick sets a record this weekend for most rushing yards by a QB in a playoff game. What do you have, 183?
Kaepernick busted out. Let's see, I got it in front of me. Right. All right, here we go. He gave us 181 yards on 16 carries.
181. Big time. Well, he had the 1 yard, what was it, a 56-yard touchdown, and then another one for 20?
All I know is out of the 181, 178 of them, he went untouched.
That's pretty crazy.
Untouched. Just untouched. Just blew from behind the line of the scrimmage and just blew past everybody. I mean, unbelievable. I was so... Yeah, he had a 20-yard touchdown run and then a 56-yard touchdown run. He had a 12-yard touchdown pass, a 20-yard touchdown pass, a 52-yard interception return for... I mean, sorry. That, to me, may be one of the most impressive, literally most impressive parts about what he did on Saturday night. Was that literally one of his first throws of the entire game was an interception to the house. And to come out and just be so confident in yourself and in your ability and in your team to just come out and just be a monster for the rest of the game was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
This kid, I told my friend when they drafted him that he was going to be their starter one day. Now, when I told him that, I had no thought of this kid making plays the way he made them on Saturday night. I just thought he showed potential of a really good quarterback that could move. You know, I was extremely impressed with what he did on Saturday night. Their defense, that second half period, was just a dominating performance by San Francisco. It really was. You had a 24, I mean, it was tied at 24. Green Bay tied it up with a Crosby field goal at 24 with eight and a half minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And then we're outscored 21-7 over the final 23 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
San Francisco dominated. They put on
dominated the end of the game.
Yeah.
Up until then, it was a good game. And then really it just became the Colin Kaepernick show.
Yeah.
Kind of vindicated why Harbaugh wanted to put him in there. And I mean, I'm still going to sit here today because it's just who I am and say I still think Alex Smith got screwed. But when you're winning playoff games, it's hard to fold a coach who made a move like that.
You know what? I don't. Even if Harbaugh never gets faulted for making that move, there's no denying Alex Smith got screwed. He lost his starting job because of a concussion and all the concussion protocols that are in the NFL now. The reason why players don't tell coaches and training staff that they have injuries, because these guys don't want to lose their job. So Alex Smith, no matter what happens with Colin Kaepernick, no matter how people point the finger at Harbaugh, Alex Smith got screwed. And I don't think anybody is wrong for thinking that. I really don't. I don't think, I mean, you know me. I usually if I think you're wrong, I'll argue with you on it.
Absolutely.
But I don't think you're wrong for saying he got screwed, because he did. You lost your job, not just because of I sprained my pinky and I can't play for a game. No. You had a concussion, and the NFL has rules and processes and protocols that every team has to go through for them to allow you back on the field. So yeah, he got screwed. That's simple.
Let me ask you: would the game be any different? How would this game have played out if Alex Smith was the quarterback instead of Kaepernick? Because I don't think Alex Smith would have ran for all those yards.
I don't think they win. The way based on what Kaepernick did, that's why I say I don't think they win.
Now, based on that, Atlanta just played Russell Wilson, who plays a very similar game to a Colin Kaepernick. How do you think Atlanta fares next week against Kaepernick, and does Kaepernick have the same type of week next week? I think he needs to in order to win.
To be honest, I'd rather more talk about that on Friday, but for a quick answer, I think Atlanta is going to do okay, but I still think that based on what I saw out of San Francisco and what I saw out of Atlanta this weekend, I got a lot more faith in San Francisco. All right, maybe not a lot more, but I definitely, as of right now, I think I'm going to end up picking San Francisco to win that game. Now, we still got 5 days, four or 5 days before we pick games. And I apologize to not get more into the question, but I think that would be a lot of fun to really get into on Friday. The idea of how Atlanta will handle him and all.
We can still talk about it on Friday, but I just want to know, do you think Atlanta can do to Kaepernick what they did to Russell Wilson? I mean, Russell Wilson still had a good game.
Well, that's what, and that's what I mean. I think that they can contain him a little bit, but I still think that Colin Kaepernick is able to have maybe not as many passing yards, but have just as good of a game as Russell Wilson did, and possibly better because the plays he may have a larger impact at the moment. Where Russell Wilson and that Seattle offense really shot themselves in the foot, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the show, but they really shot themselves in the foot in the red zone twice in that first half. That really, based on how the second half went, is the reason they didn't win the game. I mean, they cost themselves anywhere between 6 to 10 to 14 points, and they get those points, and you're not even talking about what Matty Ice and them did after giving up the lead. So I think it was all in all, I think what Colin Kaepernick did and what the performance he put on was unbelievable. You had all these people all week. I can't count. NFL Network, ESPN, this radio show, that radio show, this article, that article. Every single one of them. Man, what's going to happen if Kaepernick struggles? What's Harbaugh going to what's his response going to be? And Colin Kaepernick literally showed up, throws a pick to the house, has every doubter in the world sitting there saying, "We told you so. We told you so." And then that game ended, and they're like, "Oh, damn, we were wrong." I'm sorry. I mean, what he did on Saturday night was it was unbelievable. It was an amazing performance.
More of a second half performance than a first half performance, but yeah, I agree. It was pretty awesome to watch, and he seems like an exciting player, and he was the only person in Division 1A history to throw for over 10,000 yards in college and rush for over 4,000 yards. You're seeing a little bit of both there, on Saturday. And I'm interested to see what he's able to do next week against the Falcons team, who played a quarterback in similar style.